Right now, the Dixie is dropping faster than my testosterone when I forget to take my supplements. And for the last 8 days, Bitcoin has been stuck in the same few $1,000 channel. Is this the calm before the storm? Like my football coach always used to say, who are you and why do you look like Harry Potter? And yet again, the entire cryptocurrency market cap squeezes its cheeks ever so closer to that $2 trillion valuation. But the question is, are we in store for the biggest eruption since my honeymoon? Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Bobby Benchpress, and on this channel, not only do we pump our piggy banks, but we also pump our buys, tries, backs, cracks, glutes, and kaboots as well. Guys, over the past couple of years, there have been 2 comments that I always get on this channel. 1, you definitely don't look like Harry Potter. And 2, what is your workout routine? You remind me of Richard Simmons or Carrot Top, and I want a body like that. Guys, I'm here to tell you literally anyone can achieve this. You know, 3 years ago, I had $30 in my piggy bank, and I could barely bench press 30 pounds, and now I can do almost double that. But enough about me. Bitcoin has been stalling out at this absolutely crucial level, and after a very nice day of altcoin gainage yesterday, what exactly is going on today? We see some altcoins up, but a lot of the coins that people were hoping to pump over the last 24 hours, in fact, have not. But are we in that kind of grace period right before a massive eruption? That is what we're going to be delving into in this webisode. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. Make sure to enter for our ETH competition. There are 23 days left for the competition. And very big stuff, guys. And without any further ado, let's jump in. Goodness gracious. So we have to start off talking about this, guys. The Dixie has been plummeting. Now, if you've been following this channel for the past few months, you know that this is kind of our key rejection range going back 6+ years, but what you see on the screen right here is just the last 6 years, because we have to zoom out pretty far to see, you know, that past stuff. So we just keep it to the last 6 years. Still very clearly a rejection range, and we were watching it run up the past few weeks. As you can see, ever since the beginning of 2021 in January, the Dixie has been having a nice little rebound, but you can see here on this weekly chart where we just recently got that rejection is right on this 50-week moving average, but also after it entered this key rejection range. And as you can see, the last few days, you know, it has been a pretty sharp rejection, but at this very second, we're actually testing the 21-day moving average here to try and hold support. If this would fail, I think it's very likely that we're going to come down to at least 91.5 over the next few weeks. Absolutely huge. So we've already seen a pretty drastic drop in just the last week, over an entire point there. Wow, look at that. And yeah, the key here is if the DXY continues to collapse, and if it continues to, you know, set new lows, you know, going past what we saw in 2018, then it's very likely that the inverse correlation with this and Bitcoin will shoot Bitcoin and crypto through the roof. So again, this is a very big moment. Out of all of the charts that I'm watching today, this is probably by far the most interesting today and the most interesting to watch every single day period. You always want to look at the Dixie when you're looking at your normal crypto charts as well, because this usually gives you a nice hint. But one of the things we notice as well is that as this is dropping, and you can see the last 2 days has been pretty amazing dippage already, as it's been dropping, has Bitcoin been pumping? No, it has not, which is kind of unusual. On shorter time frames, it's not super unusual, but in general, over the long term, if this drops, Bitcoin pumps, and if this pumps, Bitcoin drops on longer time frames. You know, not always on like a day-to-day basis, and clearly we see that here as well, as Bitcoin has been the least volatile that it's been this entire bull cycle so far, and this has been going on since April started and a few days before April started. So well over a week now, as we just sit literally right on top of the 21-day moving average. We sit right on top of our 13-month horizontal line of support / resistance. Right now is acting as support as well. And yeah, Bitcoin is just, it's really just not doing much. If we go to some of these shorter time frames as well, you can see where it has gotten rejected consistently as kind of the VPVR level, but also this key fib level right around 59,000. Just complete stagnation. And I mean, look at our weekly candle so far. It's barely noticeable. It basically is exactly where it opened up just 2 days ago. It barely moved. You know, it had a little bit of a, you know, like a $2,000 dip down, like a $1,000 pump up. But all very short-lived. You can see it just has come back to the same exact level. So again, I have to zoom in pretty close for you to even see that it's there, because nothing has happened. Bitcoin's done nothing. However, altcoins have been having some movement. But today specifically, very interesting. So I woke up, and as many of you noticed, a lot of these coins were actually up a little bit. ADA and Chainlink specifically were doing pretty good. Currently, they're still up a couple of percent as I record, but the moves they had today, for the most part, were largely given back already. And as well, some of the other coins we look at, PRQ, still, I mean, it had a little bit of a move up, but you can see it's down as well. And Ethereum as well, just kind of sitting in the same position here. So really the question is, are we close to a move? And I'm just going to give you my opinion. Because the markets are not doing much today, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think is going on here. And again, this is just my opinion. But it's something I like to do every now and then, is just kind of talk about what I think the momentum is shifting towards in this market. There is consolidation, especially with Bitcoin and some of these alts, but they are all in a very, very bullish posture, I think, right now. And I think they're in the middle of still breaking out. I still think Ethereum over the next few weeks, but specifically, I think within the next 10 days, but towards the middle of April, Ethereum is going to be hitting higher levels and ultimately inching up towards 2,600 US dollars, the full breakout. Same thing for most of these coins, to be honest. I think most of these top coins, whether it is ADA, whether it is BNB, which is actually setting a new all-time high as of today, so that's one coin up, setting a new all-time high today. I still think all of these coins are going to be heading towards those levels. Chainlink as well, Uniswap as well. Just all of the top coins, I think, are heading that direction there. Polkadot as well. We do see Polkadot actually getting a little bit of a pullback today, but it has recently just set all-time highs as of the last few days also. But the question is, when Bitcoin actually does make a move, because it's going to very, very soon, right? You never see consolidations this tight without a breakout or a breakdown afterwards. And this is kind of what I've been thinking. So obviously, I think altcoins are extremely bullish. If we look at the entire altcoin market cap, yet again today we set another new all-time high for the entire altcoin market cap. So many altcoins are just in such a bullish position, and let's be realistic as well. Most of the excitement the first quarter of 2021 and most of the attention was actually on Bitcoin. If we go back to like the summer of 2020, most of the attention, most of the action was in altcoins. Okay, it was very, very clearly about altcoins. Like everyone was hyped about altcoins. Altcoins were the ones performing extremely well, and people that were in altcoins were making insane gains. And Bitcoin didn't do too much. And then the last like 2 months of 2020 and then the first 3 months of 2021, I would say it's been, especially in terms of like the media and what everyone's talking about, is Bitcoin. However, I think that is slowly transitioning. And again, that's why I'm very excited. You guys already know altcoins I'm very, very excited about. Many of you watching expect your altcoins to be the ones performing the best in your portfolio and giving you the most wealth. Many people watching, that's just true, okay? Without a doubt, most of the people watching are expecting, especially if you've only been in the market for a few months, most people are really interested in the altcoins. And I just think that we are at the very start of that next wave up. But the thing that I'm just kind of questioning here is, if Bitcoin pumps, is that going to take away a lot of what we want from the altcoins? Because historically, that is exactly what happens. Usually, this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Usually, when the altcoins pump, Bitcoin isn't necessarily pumping at the exact same time. It's usually the opposite. And that's perfectly illustrated by this chart. As you see today, we've actually set a new local low for the entire Bitcoin dominance chart, down to about 56.67. We broke those, September and August 2020 Bitcoin dominance lows, and now we're testing like the lows of back in 2019, the beginning of 2019. And if you guys remember, back in April of 2019, there was a huge alt pump, but then ultimately, Bitcoin also ended up pumping like a week or two after altcoins had an amazing pump as well. I believe Litecoin was one of the most pumpy coins for that week or two, and then a lot of other alts were like really, really pumping a lot, and then Bitcoin started exploding, and then those altcoins stopped pumping because all of the attention then flowed into Bitcoin. So when people comment on these videos saying things like, well, if Ethereum's pumping, then Bitcoin can't pump, I mean, that's partially true. Like, if Bitcoin's going to pump, then it's usually hard for altcoins to just start exploding as well. Because if Bitcoin pumps, it usually takes a lot of the momentum out of the market. And again, that's one of the reasons we've seen altcoins do so well over the last week, is because Bitcoin hasn't done anything. Okay, this is a perfect example of it. The last 8 days, Bitcoin has done basically nothing, and altcoins have really started to make moves. And I sincerely think that's going to be continuing, not just like over the next few days, but over the next few weeks and months. At this point, we already kind of have our patterns charted for Bitcoin, and we just need to wait for Bitcoin to make a decisive move one way or the other, because at this point, as you can see, I mean, we are in a bullish position, whether it's with this chart where we could break out any day, or whether it's a pattern more like this where we could get a pullback first and then start pumping, right? We could see something like that as well. Either way, the market as a whole is just very bullish mid and long term. What happens to Bitcoin in the short term, nobody has any idea, but what I think is inevitable over the next 1 to 2 months at the latest is that altcoins are going to really start picking up steam, and we're going to start seeing this chart right here, the entire altcoin market cap, really distance itself from those previous all-time highs. Because I mean, yeah, I'll end this talk with this. This is what altcoins did back in 2016, going into 2017 and 2018, and here is that high, and this is what we've done so far. So percentage-wise, really nothing impressive so far. Altcoins have absolutely exponential room to go up. And again, I think we're going to be seeing that very much sooner than later. But the question is, will Bitcoin put a wrench into those plans? Wow, so if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications, and as well, make sure to enter for our ETH competition. If you're interested in trading in Bitcoin and Ethereum and altcoins, make sure to join Bybit or Phemex below. Some very nice bonuses and trading options on both of those exchanges. Phemex has a lot of options as well. Never trade more than you're willing to lose. And without any further ado, that's it for me. Bye-bye.